University. Rashtriya Raksha Sarvopari. A safe, secure, and developed nation requires the inculcation of the highest ideas of citizenship and citizen-centric services with intellectual acumen, more commitment, and professional competence. To inculcate these eternal values and ethos into every citizen, and to create well-trained personnel in the field of national security, the Honorable Prime Minister of India and the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, Shri Narendra Modi, envisioned a university for national security. Rashtriya Raksha University. Rashtriya Raksha Sarvopari. Rashtriya Raksha University earlier functioned as Raksha Shakti University. The university was transformed as an institution of national importance under the Ministry of Home Affairs by the Parliament of India on the 1st of October 2020. RRU aims to provide an academic research training ecosystem for national security and policing in India and to friendly foreign countries, laying new benchmarks and standards with the help of qualified, committed and motivated academic and practitioner faculty from India and abroad. With the guidance and patronage of the Honorable Union Home Minister Shri Amit Shah, RRU is laying a strong foundation and preparing a pool of dedicated young women and men who are aspiring to serve the nation in strengthening its security and contribute to development through serving in armed forces, central armed police forces, central police organizations and state police organizations, as well as private, corporate and industrial security organizations. Spread over 230 acres land in Lauded, Gandhinagar, generously donated by the Gujarat government, RRU has been receiving support from the successive leadership of Gujarat since 2010 and is being nurtured by the committed institutional leaders. RRU covers all aspects of national security and works for smart police. Certificate, diploma, undergraduate, postgraduate and doctorate degree programs are offered in these areas. Security and Scientific Technical Research Association, SASTRA, and the Patel Innovation Center are India's first national security innovation centers with an objective to facilitate a quadruple-way engagement between academia, innovators, industry and the government for innovation, incubation and technology acceleration in the security space with application of science, engineering and technology. An aggregator of security-oriented startups, innovators, MSMEs and others, SASTRA is an active contributor to the Atmanirbhar and Atma Surakshit Bharat. Global and national experts, practitioners and faculty identify and deliberate on national security challenges and issues, impart contemporary and futuristic training and education, work towards enhancing the police image for their competence, dedication and caring services, as well as empowering women in security. The university aims to create and sustain global footprints for security education. Each school has a particular vision and mission and is equipped with the latest and futuristic technology laboratories and tools. The university functions through specialized schools. RRU, contributing to the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program of the External Affairs Ministry, is reaching out to friendly and like-minded nations across the globe, emerging as a contributor to the global security knowledge resource base.
Ensuring effective national security today is a far more complex task. It requires more interdisciplinary training and education and varied experience. As India rises, these challenges will grow because the stakes for us and the stakes for the world will be much higher.
Continuous professional learning and enriching the knowledge base and skill set of emerging security needs. The online integrated platform RISE provides opportunities. Training and Executive Development Directorate contributes to Karma Yogi mission of the Capacity Building Commission through basic and advanced programs in all aspects of security. Raksha Shakti School, an innovative education platform started in Gujarat, aims to prepare young people from the age of 10 years onwards through education and skills to serve the safety and security of the people of the nation. Academic recognition of security and police personnel aims to ensure meaningful social reintegration of retiring personnel, besides offering them opportunities to serve the security ecosystem through startups and incubation. Policy-oriented research and publication of reports and papers, besides joint research projects with like-minded institutions across the globe, create a narrative for the rule-based international order. Extension and outreach activities, NCC and NSS programs make learners fully aware of societal realities. RRU campuses across the country and beyond national borders connect the regions and provide learning, training and research opportunities to security aspirants and in-service personnel round the year.
राष्ट्रीय रक्षा शक्ति यूनिवर्सिटी अपना व्याप बहुत तेजी से बढ़ाने जा रही है। अब तेजी से सभी क्षेत्रों में जाकर अपना एक-एक कैंपस कम से कम खुले क्षेत्रवार इसकी चिंता करेगी।
As a center of excellence in national security and defense management and a global leader in internal security, correctional administration and police, RRU hosts learners, thinkers, strategists, practitioners and policymakers to think, deliberate, propose and implement high-standard security education, research and training. RRU is honored to serve the nation for the Sashakt Atmanirbhar Bharat mission with renewed confidence and courage.
आज हमारा राष्ट्रीय रक्षा विश्वविद्यालय देश के विश्वविद्यालयों में एक अपनी साख, एक अपनी विश्वसनीयता बनाता जा रहा है।
Rigorous examination, round-the-year incubation, internship and placement, student welfare programs, financial administration, health and safety care, efficient and timely provisioning of procurement and support services, internal oversight, quality control and assurance, hostel administration boost the realization of the core mandate of the university. RRU offers digital as well as physical libraries, normal and adventure sports facilities, and good quality hostels. Upcoming amenities and facilities will continue to provide the most conducive environment for overall personal and professional development. Sports, cultural and social programs and festivals enrich and rejuvenate the vibrancy throughout the year. RRU at a glance.
यूनिवर्सिटी देश का गहना है जो राष्ट्र की रक्षा के लिए यहाँ जो चिंतन, मनन, शिक्षा, ट्रेनिंग होगी और राष्ट्र रक्षा के लिए आने वाले कालखंड में देश के अंदर एक नया विश्वास पैदा करेंगे।
Rashtriya Raksha University, the emerging global address for security education.
I've been told about the expected learning outcomes of this master's program, and I'm very excited about it. I've spent a very short time in this ministry now, it's only been about 3 months, but I'm realizing that the implementation of or even the understanding of laws and understanding the interplay of human psyche, human behavior and technology requires us to be one step ahead. So I am actually quite excited about how this course has been designed and what are the kind of inputs which are going into the design of the various modules which are there. While I was trying to understand the course outline, the information which is made available to me, I'm very happy to see that it is very interdisciplinary. So while we're looking at the whole, the sector of economic and financial crimes, but the collaboration of the Rashtriya Raksha University with IICA, I think is a perfect combination, because the objectives of doing this program are absolutely clear. All of us understand we're all working professionals, but I think time and again we need to understand that economic and financial crimes are not just economic and financial crimes. They also hit at the fundamental institutions which are responsible for the stability of our economy, and then of course the political and the entire the country. So this interface between national security and economic and financial crimes, I think, is very, very important, especially in these days when we have totally interconnected economies. So what happens in one part of the world has implications in small areas of various different parts of the country. All of us have, sometime or the other, faced some type of a technology-driven economic crime, maybe in a very small scale. Maybe we just have kept hearing about it, but every day, from the Jamtaras of the world to some very quaint village in Haryana, which is responsible for doing, which may look like very petty crimes, but systems like these small crimes also hit at the basic measures which we are taking to integrate technology to make economics and finance reach the last mile. For example, it's a very small thing. The way UPI has caught up in the entire country, it's phenomenal. I think it was not expected that UPI would have such fast uptake from the rickshawalas, the sabjiwalas, the autowalas, everybody. But when you have set of people who are there to destroy this very system and who keep coming up with new and new measures, then you also need regulators and enforcement agencies to be one step ahead. So it's a very small example what I'm giving. However, the way you have designed the course and the way the kind of things which you're putting into the course, the entire gamut of corporate governance, the entire arena of what is expected from the law in terms of prudential use of public money, its use, and then to see the transparency and accountability of the funds which are being raised and that are being deployed, and to understand interconnections between that. I think a course of this kind is very necessary, and I congratulate both the institutions for having thought of such a course and now are putting it into practice. So I'm very happy to be a part of this launch event, so to say. And I have just two very small requests to make of all the people who are here today. One is in terms of some more selfish considerations. I noticed that there is a provision for having dissertations as a part of the master's course. So I would request the faculty or the people who are involved in this course to definitely share these dissertation topics with us. Maybe we could suggest some very important areas which come into our everyday, when we are working, we realize some very important things which we need to go a little deep dive in, which we don't have the wherewithal in terms of the bandwidth or the time, and which you can do in an impartial manner. So if those topics could be shared with us and we can suggest some of these studies could be very useful to us in improving governance. So I think that is one important request I have to make. and the others in terms of since it is meant for working professionals. So I don't know really how many of our own officers have actually joined this blended model course. But if I could, maybe IIS could let me know something like that. Maybe we could have it popularized and also, informed to the other officers of our own cadres so that we have more takers for it. And definitely the learnings from, I'm sure, I believe it is the first of its kind. So we will learn a lot from the from the rollout of the course, and I'm sure that will also be built into the future designs of this kind of a extremely dynamic kind of a course which is being thought about. But I'm very excited and I'm very hopeful and I'm very optimistic that we all will benefit from such an important program of two premier institutions. You are at the forefront of both corporate governance and national security, and the responsibility which you carry is very heavy. You have very broad shoulders, and I'm sure you will do a brilliant job. I hope that sometime I also will be able to come and see some of these programs and the outputs of the programs which are being planned as a part of this course. So all the best, and thank you very much for inviting me to be part of this inauguration of this important master's program. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
To inaugurate or to launch the first of its kind program in the country by two major institutions, that is the Rashtriya Raksha University of Institute of National Importance, Ministry of Home Affairs, and the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, the Center of Excellence of Ministry of Corporate Affairs. The genesis of this program lies when on 1st of July this year, the three new criminal laws came into being. It immediately struck to RRU and to IICA that this is an area where both institutions together can really make a change as far as the learning, research, training and extension is concerned. And I'm very happy to inform that as soon as both institutions discussed preliminarily, the premier law enforcement agencies and the regulators, that is Reserve Bank of India, the SEBI, the CBI, the Enforcement Directorate, the Financial Intelligence Unit, all these law enforcement agencies and the financial regulators, I'm talking the chiefs of these organizations, immediately approved the proposal and nominated senior officers from the respective financial regulators and the law enforcement agencies. They said, yes, this is what is needed, and therefore India, Bharat, should offer opportunities not only for India but also globe across, a program in financial and economic crimes. And therefore I would like to thank in your presence all our law enforcement agencies, their chiefs as well as the financial regulators for nominating senior officers. In other words, while the initiative is first of its kind between RRU and Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, it is first time also happening that law enforcement agencies of the country and also the financial regulators coming together. In other words, this initiative is a kind of initiative of the entire country, not only just RRU and IICA. And I think therefore, all the agencies and the Ministry of Corporate Affairs deserve our great appreciation for joining this program. The purpose of this program is to contribute to skilling of the professionals and even those who want to be professional in the field of financial economic prevention of crimes, reduction of crimes and control of crimes. Second would be to upskill the serving professionals. So here I am looking at, of course, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, that is the audience, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, all our law enforcement agencies. So for example, we are looking at the CBI, the Enforcement Directorate, the NIA, the Financial Intelligence Unit, the FATF, the regional offices of Interpol, as well as for the financial regulators. So that is RBI, SEBI, PFRDA, IRDIA, the IBBI, and of course very importantly, the International Financial Services Center Authority, which is in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad. In other words, while the country expands its economic horizon, it is very important, as Madam Mukherjee rightly mentioned, that we have obligation to ensure that we prevent, reduce and control the financial and economic crimes. I will give you some statistics later on. And this is the purpose. And as Madam was also mentioning, the purpose was not just to offer any other course. It is meant for actually those who are working in the field. It is primarily meant for those who are working in the field. And therefore, the participants will spend some amount of time at RRU, some amount of time at IICA, and by and large, they will be operating on their own fields. So therefore, you could imagine the financial intelligence unit officer, while he will be working in the revenue department of the government of finance ministry, he would find some time to come at RRU and IICA, spend time interact with faculty in both institutions, and continue his job. So therefore, what will happen is, this is what it is also aligns with the national education policy, because the purpose was how education can become more liberal so that it serves the demands of the society. And therefore, this program exactly, I would say, in every sense of the term, aligns with the national economic policy, aligns with the needs of the government, aligns with the needs of our, particularly the financial and corporate industry, and very importantly, when we are looking at the financial and economic sector growth, definitely comes to my mind all our Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, the intermediaries, the depositories. Now they are going to be, because they are, while the financial regulators regulate the market and also try to facilitate the financial and capital growth, it is actually these institutions, that BSE, NSE, CDSL, NSDL, these organizations are actually creating the capital market. But at the core of this is, we have to be extremely aware of how those who are perpetrating crimes, in variety of ways, we have to make sure that while the growth and development of our finance and economic sector happens in a speed which the Honorable Prime Minister is envisaging, at the same time, we as the academic institution, research institution, also have immense obligations, I would say, as an ecosystem, to provide an ecosystem to the financial and economic sectors. So as we have seen, IICA is kind of one stop for all aspects of Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Similarly, the RRU IICA program is in the financial and economic crimes. So that is how this program has been perfectly curated. Rationals, as I mentioned, to prepare the skilled manpower, but also the participants will not be ordinarily, as Madam Mukherjee was also mentioning, they will not be writing simply dissertation, no. They will be writing the case studies, like IIM Ahmedabad has done. They will be preparing the capability perspective plans. So for example, what could be the capability perspective plan of, let's say, National Stock Exchange? What could be the capability perspective plan of SEBI? What could be the capability perspective plan of, let's say, an intermediary? And how these various capability perspective plans converge together and contribute to what we call the Viksit Bharat, because that is the whole purpose. And therefore, the participants of this program will undergo this kind of rigorous, very intensive learning modules. They would have expertise and available of the best in the in the world. In other sense, I'm sure, because when we had done research also for this particular program, such a program is not being offered at the scale and in the size and in the platform. You have seen some programs in the United Kingdom, in the United States, in large OECD economies. But a platform, an academic platform where, very interestingly, the government and enforcement agencies regulate, is unprecedented. This is exactly what this program makes the most appealing to anyone, because one would have direct access to the knowledge, to the insight, the ideas, the problems of anyone. Now, for example, as far as the resource persons are concerned, we'll have the resource persons from CBI coming. As some of you may be knowing, RRU undertakes training program for CBI officers, prosecution, investigation around the year. Now the participants will have direct access to, with all, of course, respect to the confidentiality, secrecy, because there is a professional aspect, but they would have direct access to the knowledge or the insights which our agencies are facing or which regulators are facing. So, for example, Bima Yojana, the latest one rolled out by RDI. Now, as soon as we all know how insurance sector gets fraught with all kinds of frauds and activities. Now, here, while the government rolls out enormously important all-inclusive insurance policies, because we would like to make sure that insurance includes living and non-living, all the parts of the country, but at the same time, we cannot shy away from having the eyes to those crimes, the institutions, because it is not individual actors, the organized crimes. As soon as a scheme is rolled out, I'm sure the organized crime gangs, economic and financial crime gangs must be rolling out how to find the loopholes and how to particularly target the vulnerable communities, because we are in a country where growth is innate, but illiterate, diverse cultural population is again a challenge. So therefore, such kind of programs, and therefore we are putting our hands together with these law enforcement agencies and the regulators and the government, so that the government's purpose to reach out every single 1.4 billion population, because every citizen of this nation has legitimate aspiration to be a developer. So that is called Viksit Bharat. And therefore, to achieve this 2047 goal, which is very lofty ideal, I believe that such kind of private industry, academia and government partnership, this is happening for the first time, and I'm very, very happy. And I'm very happy to share, being a member of the National Security Advisory Board, the financial and economic security is considered a national security issue. In other words, if we do not see any if we do not see an issue just as an issue, then the whole of government approach cannot work. But here, since financial and economic security is considered to be a national security issue, the whole of government, I would say not the whole of government, whole of country approach is being seen. And therefore, these particular programs also aims to supplement and to realize the lofty ideals and objectives of also the three criminal laws which have been implemented by the government of India. So the faculty of this program will be from across the globe. We'll have people from Interpol, we'll have people from Egmont Study Group, which are based in Canada, we'll have people from ED, NIA, CBI, RBI, and that is what is important, because every law enforcement agency, every regulator, they committed for the success of this mission. And I'm very happy when the leadership of these regulators and law enforcement agencies commit. Yes, it is not a program of an academic institution, it is a program for the whole of India. And that makes this program very, very appealing to everyone. For whom it is meant? Of course, it is meant for the professionals, but also it is meant for the chartered accountant, the company secretaries, the insolvency professional. In other words, it is open for everyone who wants to pursue the knowledge of financial and economic crime prevention, combating and reducing those crimes. And I'm sure it is a one-year program, and as Madam Mukherjee was also mentioning, the dissertation, the research papers will not be on typical doctrinal nature, no. It is relevant to the government. Everything what we'll do, we'll make it relevant to the government, because at the end of the day, what we are looking at is, if Viksit Bharat is what contributes to the global economic and financial security, I think our role, the role of IICA and the role of RRU will be extremely important. And therefore I believe that this particular model, which is first of its kind, as I said, nowhere in the world, and it is perhaps so meant because I think we all are excited about the growth story of India, and academic institutions or research institutions like RRU and IICA come together, join the hands of the government, join the hands of regulators and law enforcement agencies. And I'm very happy, therefore, that so many of you have joined today, and by spreading the word of this particular program, I'm sure we'll be able to reach out to every nook and corner of the country. And I'm sure, because this program is not meant just for an academician or student, no. It is meant for, as I said, 1.4 billion population, because every single citizen has a right to economic growth and prosperity. So these particular programs actually indirectly contributes to every single Indian citizen's legitimate aspiration of economic growth and development. And therefore, I'm very grateful to all of you who have joined, and I'll be very happy to entertain your questions. We'll be very happy to talk to you about the modules in detail, the faculty, the databases which we are going to procure, so that it becomes, as I said, the best in the world, not in India only, the best in the world kind of program. And I also extend a very warm welcome to you when the course is actually physically rolled out, because we are launching today, and we hope sometime in February, first batch will arrive at RRU. We again look forward to welcoming you, and we hope that blessings of the dignity from the government of India, and of course our financial and economic regulators will also be there. So thank you very much, and I look forward to entertain your questions. Thank you.
Sure. The IICA's role in this course is understood. Economic and financial crime. So it's understood. But what
Officials, nominated people will be participating, जैसे कि Minister of Corporate Affairs, Minister of Home Affairs, our regulators, that is RBI, SEBI, PFRDA, IRDAI, IBBI, IFSCA, और law enforcement agency जैसे CBI, ED, NIA, FIU. So ज़्यादातर हमारी अपेक्षा है कि ये जो गवर्नमेंट की एजेंसीज और रेगुलेटर्स जो फाइनेंशियल ग्रोथ और क्राइम बचाने के लिए जो काम करते हैं, वो नॉमिनेट करेंगे ऑफिसर्स को इस प्रोग्राम में.
सर कितने साल का कोर्स रहता है पूरा?
1 साल का ही होगा.
उसके बाद का उन लोगों को किस तरह से जॉब वर्किंग किस तरह से मिलती है सर?
क्योंकि वो लोग ऑलरेडी जॉब में होंगे, तो क्या होगा कि उनकी जो इफेक्टिवनेस है, उनकी जो कॉम्पिटेंस लेवल्स जो है वो बहुत ही बढ़ जाएगी, क्योंकि अभी दो बहुत ताकतवर इंस्टीट्यूशन साथ में काम करेगी, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के साथ काम करेगी. तो जो हमारे प्रोफेशनल्स हैं रेगुलेटिंग अथॉरिटीज़ में एज वेल एज गवर्नमेंट में और हमारी प्राइवेट इंडस्ट्री में, तो उनका सबसे बड़ा कॉम्पिटेंस बढ़ जाएगा. एंड एज आई सेड ऑल्सो कि उनकी जो इंटर डिपार्टमेंट ट्रांसफ़र, इंटर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ट्रांसफ़र, तो क्या होगा कि व्हेन इफ आई एम पर्सन इज ट्रांसफर फ्रॉम वन regulator to another regulator or one department to another department, he would require no extra training, because he would have already acquired excellent learning in his previous job. So he would be able to perform the mission Karma Yogi in the field of what we call the financial economic area from day one. This course is very unique because, number one, it is first time in the country, or I would say in the globe, private industry, government agency and academic institutions are offering a program which is directly linked to the goal of Vikshit Bharat. This is number one. Number two, nowhere in the world such all-inclusive learning, research and government relevant program is offered. Number three, financial and economic security is a national security issue. And as India develops Atmanirbhar, Atma Surakshit Bharat, Vikshit Bharat, financial and economic security is extremely important for the growth and prosperity of every single Indian citizen. So therefore, this course is meant for an ordinary citizen, but a very learned financial professionals as well.
What is the profile of the faculty?
The faculty will be drawn from, as I said, from the government agencies, from the regulators, law enforcement agencies, from Interpol, from Egmont Study Group. So international, national faculty, those who are directly dealing with the financial economic crimes, to strengthen the governance framework to prevent, reduce and control the finance and economic crimes, particularly the Ministry of Home Affairs and of course our home departments across all our states, because RRU mandate is from MHE is more law enforcement. So they will be contributing as faculty.